So Mandy goes, it's Tico on MC on the mic. And I was like, that's a long title for anything at all. That doesn't, really make sense. I said, I don't, let's just figure this out as we go. And decide what it is we want to be doing, what it is we want to be
Yeah,
talking about. What we know for sure is that two Cohen brothers are better than one.
facts.
We know this. You know a lot of stuff about football and a lot of stuff about new kid stuff that I don't know about because I'm 41 years old and you're 21 years old. But that is exactly the dynamic that I feel like that we're going to sell. It's going to
It's
be
perfect.
me and
It's
you.
like
It's going to
it's like
be
I
like
know it's like two
you were raised
completely
by an
different.
old man and I was raised by an old man, but we were raised by different old men, but they were the same old man. Sorry, go. I got to get
That's
used to
deep.
your
That's
rhythm of
deep.
talking.
That's deep. But it's like a good concept. Like, you're 40, kind of, 40, and I'm
No,
20.
no,
That's
no, no. Stop right there. What is this? Stop. Like, what does kind of, 40 mean to a 21-year-old? I'm curious because I know what 21 means to me. It means like I was living like an absolute hooligan. I was making bad decisions every day, questionable decisions all the time. But what does 40 look like? Because at 21, I looked at 41 like an ancient dinosaur. And I'm like, yo, I could bench press more than all your 21-year-old friends. So
You
what?
could definitely bench press more than me, that's for sure. But 40's like it's 40. Like it's not crazy old. Like once you hit like 50, 55, then you're
Easy.
start
I got a lot of buddies that are in that
hey man,
window, bro.
you're at the end of the day, you however you feel, that's how old you are.
That's true. I mean, that's true. And I also think like I was talking about this with Mandy the other day. I was like, when you get to a certain age and you become more sedentary, like you just stop doing stuff. Like literally, you're all of a sudden watching TV for 8 hours a day, and you're like, man, this is comfortable. That's when you're getting super old and you got to fight against it, right? Because they say the other part of getting old is like when you're doing the things you always did, except you end up in the hospital after always doing them. And
I
I'm
feel like
like, I was 38 years old when I popped my Achilles skipping outside. There's no older you can
wild,
feel. It's crazy.
wild. But I feel like maybe you can call yourself old once you start like sitting back and you start saying things and you're like, "Oh, that's what my dad used to say. Oh, that's what my mom used to say. That's what my parents used to say. Oh no, I'm turning into my parents."
Yeah.
I don't quite feel that way yet, but maybe you do at 40. I don't know.
Here's the thing is like I at 40, my body is like, holy cow, like you haven't been so kind to me for the last 20 years. And so my body feels beat up, but the problem I'm having, and this is a real problem, and you know this because you're my brother and you were raised by our father. So am having a hard time, and I don't want to be like dad in this aspect.
No.
I'm having a hard time being 40 up here and not 18 up here. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm like going out or I want to party or I want to do this and that. It means that I still think my body's 18. So I'll slide down a hill in a sled and jump off a wall, and I'm doing things that like when I land, I'm like, I think I just compacted all the discs in my spine and I don't know if I
Yeah.
can walk anymore.
But like that's life. That's getting old. That's the thing. Like I can't really relate to that right now. At 20 years old, it's hard for me to relate to that. I'm in
What?
this mindset right now where it's just like, okay, I just gotta keep doing the next thing, keep doing the next thing. I'm young. I got all my energy. Just try and do as much as I can right now. Sleep, I'll get a little bit of it. But I gotta just keep doing the next thing and doing the next thing and doing the next thing.
Said like every true Cohen out there says it, at least in this bloodline. I'm going to tell you to go against that advice. And dad has gone hard in the paint forever. That's the only way he knew. So the way he brought me up was he's got to work 23 of the 24 hours a day and I have to watch that and then I have to become that because in his eyes that was the only way for me to have success, for him to have success.
Yeah.
Great. He taught me and gave me and instilled in me something so valuable, and you have it too and Carly has it too. We have the ability to, if you give an effort, you can get what you want. So you have the ability to work hard, lose sleep, to fight for what you want. But I'm going to tell you now that I have a kid, it's not the right decision.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I haven't slept past 5 a.m. in 8.5 years since Macklin's born. And guess what? The 20 years before that, when I should have been sleeping in and I should have been doing all the things, resting instead of working, driving, grinding all the time, I didn't. So now I'm at the point in my life where my rest stage isn't going to come till Macklin's out of the house in another 10 years. So as important as it is to grasp life, right? And go, I'm 21. I'm capable. I'm a great on screen presence. I'm a great hosting presence. I'm a great writing presence, directing, producing, all these great things you can do. Don't forget to chill out and enjoy the ride, because at 30, or let's say you have a kid at 25 or whatever age, once you make that change, that's where you're on. That's your new game for the next thing. And you got to commit to it like a Navy SEAL. And if you don't, you become that shabby ass dad that ain't showing up for his kids.
Nobody
So,
wants to be that. We're not those type of people. We won't. That's just
right. So I'm just telling you this. And I read this in a book, or somebody smarter than me said the quote: try everything you can in your 20s. Right now, you got a really good grasp at what you're doing. And I'm going to ride your coattails. I want to hop on board that Tico energy and let's go, baby. That's the 18-year-old in me. But the
okay.
41-year-old brother in me is going, yo, give him the best advice so he doesn't waste the time you wasted. And what I mean by that is, like, listening to what Hollywood wants is a BS thing to do.
Yeah.
Being yourself is the best thing to do. It took me 10 years to decide, oh, I just want to be Matt now in Hollywood. And then I started working a lot. But, try everything. You can do football commentating, you could be an actor, you can host the Emmys. You can do it all, but don't corner yourself like I did and was like, I'm only going to be an actor because acting is so important to me and I'm going to save the world with my acting and acting. And shh, hold on, I'm method right now and there's an angry scene coming up, so I can't talk to you outside. No, it ain't that serious. And if
Yeah.
it's not fun, don't do it at all, because that's the stage I'm at in Hollywood now and I'm having the most fun ever. If somebody doesn't want to make a movie with me, I'm literally going, all right, bye. This guy wants to have a conversation. I'm not gonna beg back in 2 weeks and be like, let's rethink it or whatever. So for me, to bring this tangent to a point, because I get on these horrible tangents and you have to stop me at some
Stop that.
point.
Stop.
Um, to bring this to a point, I guess my piece of advice that I heard probably from somebody was to just try as many things as you can in your 20s. If you like one of them, do it, right? Double down on that. But if another random door opens in front of you, walk through it. You don't got to stay in there. You know,
No.
you get in that room and you're like, man, this is dope. No, it's not. I don't like this. Get out. You know what I'm saying? But people often shoot themselves in the foot because they're not walking through the door. Don't be that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. And I think like the biggest thing for me right now, and just like I think in general, authenticity. Like you got to be authentic in this world. There's so many fake people making fake content and fake videos and just, acting, just being a character. And that like whole concept is kind of like going out the door a little bit. It's not like the thing anymore. You can do that, but it's not fun. Nobody really likes it. And it's just better to be authentic. And if you can get the views don't really matter at the end of the day if you're being authentic. If you're doing what you love and you're making fun content and you're having a good day, that's all that really matters.
And the truth of the matter is, authenticity brings views, brings people's heart. And I'm going to put it in Hollywood terms for you, right? Every time you're in a meeting, every time I'm pitching a script, every time I'm trying to tell a story in a room as a director, they go, but what about the characters? You know what I'm saying? You got to care about the characters of the story, or nobody cares what the story is going to be. So back to authenticity, like all these people out there, TikTokers and Instagrammers and these what do they call them, influencers,
Influencers, yeah, that's it.
which is a new term. Remind me to go back to influencers and don't let me get off on these tangents. So the character that an influencer creates is all good and we enjoy it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And then, like stand-up comedy, if your jokes aren't true, if we can't relate, the shit stops being funny.
Yeah,
And
yep,
authenticity is what everybody wants to see. Like, how much humor is in the pain of raising children? How much humor is in the pain of being a 21-year-old guy in this wacky, weird political climate where people want you to believe this and believe that and take this shot and not do this? And, there's so many things being tossed in your face.
weird
You
world
know,
we're living in. We're living in a pretty crazy world right now.
it's I you know I like to say that it's the most exciting and most terrifying because it's like we're like seconds away from, hey, we're never going to die because we're all going to be robots with Elon Musk
AI
chips.
and yeah,
Yeah. Or we're all going to blow each other up and we're not going to
bang,
make it to
bang, bang.
Christmas.
Everybody, mortars, bombs, everything gone. A
Right.
second.
And so like digest that into like society. How is a 21-year-old person supposed to feel hopeful or excited or whatever? And now flash forward to a 41-year-old person and go, a guy that's got a 10-year-old kid, how does he go to sleep at night thinking what the world's going to look like for his 10-year-old in 30 years? Like
And
it's
that's
chaos.
and to bring up another point, that's like a question that a lot of people my age are asking. Like, is it worth bringing a kid into this world and the world we're living in? Like, it's going to be I don't know how it's going to be in another 10 years from now. There's probably going to be more technology and more AI and more other stuff.
Yeah.
Is it like worth bringing a kid into that world? Is that what you want to do? It's not the
I asked myself the same question. And you know what? You have to live right now. So we can't live about any mistakes or any choices or who we were yesterday because literally the thoughts that I had 5 years ago, I don't believe in anymore. And 10 years before that, same. And so you have to just be open to what's right in front of you and not think, and I know this sounds counterintuitive to not think about the decisions you're making now and how they'll affect your future, but don't. Live for today. You want to be happy, you don't want to be depressed, right? So you don't want to be on antidepressants, you want to be happy in this moment. The easiest way to do that is to shut off the past and shut off the future and just be like, bam, I'm talking to my bro right now. We don't even know what we're talking about. We're trying to make entertainment for people so on their work break, they can feel like they're escaping into somebody else's problems and not worry about theirs for a second, like,
all
so
it is.
don't think about the future of not having a kid. And that's the problem with you, with the generation. I get it. I thought the same thing, but here's a bigger problem. If any population decline happens worldwide, like on any front,
Yeah.
just look at America, right? America's this capitalist country. It's you come here to achieve your dreams, make $1 billion. That's what everybody hopes. That's what everybody
American
dreams,
dream.
blah, blah, blah. But so like if there's 300 million, let's call it 300 million in the country, and I don't know, 50 million of those people are elderly and they pass away. And then all of a sudden your generation doesn't want to have kids. So all of a sudden we're on a population decline. So the ripple effect, and this is like the most layman, idiotic, Matt doesn't know what he's talking about version of this, is when you go to a car lot, there's enough cars to sell to the amount of people demanding. There's enough jobs for car salesmen because they're in line to get the job. But what happens when there aren't enough car salesmen and there aren't enough manufacturers in the manufacturing plant to make the cars to get them to the dealership? And there's not enough dealership owners because those old white men have died off and younger people don't want to take over now. They don't want to have kids. They don't want to be part of capitalists. They don't want to be this. And what happens is the biggest threat known to the world, population decline, essentially. So it feels like we're overcrowded, but we're not. We're overcrowded in here. There's plenty of space for another billion people or whatever it's going to be. So I'm no, like I can't predict the future, but it's going to be all right as long as we don't give up and just say, nah, it's not worth trying to
That's
continue.
kind of like I know that's a problem, and that's kind of happening too. Like my generation, I don't want to put myself above other people. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be that guy. But I have the generation I'm from is very lazy, very very lazy. With
Why do
AI.
you think that is, though? What do you think it is? Is it the
Because,
parents' fault? Did the parents make it too easy? Did they give you too many screens? What's the deal?
well, my opinion is the school system.
All right, I'll agree with you on that. Do you
So the
know about
school,
the school system at all? Do you
no,
know
not
what?
really, no, not really.
So, like
But
a long time ago, and I'm going to just give you this fast summary on this. A long time ago, a very rich family, which I won't name, only because I don't know that it's the exact right name, so I won't name it. We'll leave that fact out. Created the school system so parents could work in the factory system. And what was taught to the kids in the school system was to be factory workers,
yeah,
not entrepreneurs like you, like a
exactly.
21-year-old kid that's going, you know what? I'm going to do college, but I'm also going to start building a career right this second because that's what I want to do. Not because 100 years of cookie cutters building this country has led us to we have to put our kids in 12 years of school. They have to be there this many hours a day. There's no more PE. There's no more exercise. We're going to sit them in a class where they're not allowed to socialize or they get sent to the office
Yeah.
and then think these kids are not going to be pent up. They're not going to be aggressive. Little boys need to scream and shout. Little girls
Yeah.
need to dance. They need to have a good, crazy good time. Lock us down in a room so we can be locked down in a factory. Luckily, I got out.
Judge
Luckily,
you
you
by
got
a
out.
letter, judge you by a letter, judge you by a number. You get A's, you're the best. You get F's, you're the worst. It's not
Right.
it's not real. It doesn't make sense. It's meant to build the school system is meant to build workers, not young creative people. And I think
Yeah.
that's the huge problem that like society's experiencing right now. Like I'll tell you right now, I cheated in everything I did in school. I
Yeah.
cheated my way through high school,
But that
and
doesn't make you stupid.
no, it doesn't make me stupid. It just means, like that's what kids my age are doing. We have the internet. We can go on the internet and find the answers to any test, any homework, anything that there is. We can find the answers to it and we don't have to do it. And that's why my generation's kind of lazy. It's school and it's the internet also. The internet's kind of, messing us up a lot.
But so what is the one up for your generation? So you got to think about it, right? Like so our dad born in the 50s was part of a different generation. They came up, coming out of World War II and this kind of like building
Baby
the
boomers.
country and building
Yeah.
an empire and really growing. And now we're at a place where it's like feels like, oh, it's at capacity. We're overwhelmed with political nonsense. We're overwhelmed with health issues and this and that. But because your generation didn't want to spend as much time studying hard or not searching for the answer on the internet, they must be good at something because they got good at something while they weren't doing the thing they were supposed to do. I think it's up to your generation to figure out what that is. I don't
Yeah.
think every generation got to follow the last generation of like, let's do it like our dads and moms did it. That leads us where we are right now, right? A split country, a divided country with two BS political parties that nobody really believes in anyways. They just got to pick a side because everybody's
Yeah.
got to pick
There's
a
a side
side.
now. Yeah. It,
Um,
it's
it's no good.
No, it's not. It's ugly. It's bad. It's not good for anybody. And I don't know what my generation's good at. Maybe we're good at like making things easier, I guess. I don't know. Like everybody I know tries their best to use the internet to make their lives easier and everything. Maybe
Mhm.
that's what we're good at. I don't know if that's a skill. I don't really think it is, but maybe it is.
I mean, you guys definitely, your generation definitely opened the doors for new online financial opportunities because
Oh, okay. There. Okay, that's true.
like
Yes. Okay.
you and I right now, and this is going to sound sick and twisted, and I don't give a shit, could go on an OnlyFans account, never showing any part of our private areas, and just take pictures of our feet and probably make like 50 G's a month.
Might have to start taking pictures of my feet.
Why aren't we doing it? I don't know
I don't
why
know,
I'm
man.
not
My
doing it.
feet. It's a good question. It's a good question, honestly. I got a
But
weird
like
big,
that's just
I
like
got a
one
weird
of
big
many
toe. I don't know
things.
if I'd sell that many pictures, but
You never know, dude. I never thought anybody would want to look at my beat up ass running for 20 years, playing sports,
got some
getting toes
got some
crushed.
calluses on there.
The amount of requests I get for foot shots of my feet, and I'll respond to these people because I have an open email account on my website, so anybody can contact me, and I do read the emails like once a month. And you'd be surprised at how many people are like, "Yo, let me see them feet, dog," and I'm
Get
like,
some feet pics.
I'm like,
That's
no way.
wild.
But wait a
That's
minute, how much? How much you talking about?
hey, everything's got a price, man.
Everything's got a price. And you know what? Life's short. And if somebody wants to admire my 41-year-old toes before they turn 42, like, I don't know. It's kind of flattery.
It is, and like that's also like a bit of a problem too, though. Like the fact that people want to pay you to see your feet. We're living in a world where that's a thing.
But
Like,
is it a problem? Think about this. Like, and you and I are just gonna probably end up hitting on hot button topics. We just gotta talk
yeah,
openly and unjudgmental about them. But like, so prostitution, right? I have felt this way myself. I know female friends that have felt this way, where they have felt like you've had a romantic experience with a person. It ended up being a 1 or 2 night thing, and you feel cheap. And so I always bring up the question like, is it better just to get paid for it?
It's a good
I don't
question.
know.
It's a good question.
I
It's a
don't
good
know, but
question.
like it's the same thing. Like, you have rappers and celebrities and influencers making hundreds and millions of dollars showing sexual things or their feet or whatever on OnlyFans. You have your generation that's able to, you have a whole plethora of dating apps, which is also both like censoring relationships
Yeah, I
and
hate it.
keeping you guys from communicating because it's like, let me check you out first.
Let me
Nah,
let
they
me
don't, they
scroll through
say,
your Instagram. Let me see if you got Snapchat. Oh, hey, let me add you. Now I got to text you for a couple weeks, and it sucks. I don't like that. I'm an old soul. I want to go out and like walk into the store and see a pretty girl and ask her out. I don't want to have to go on Tinder, swipe left and right on people, and then figure out, oh, this girl likes me. Great. Let me send her a pickup line to see if I can try and get her. I don't want to do that.
and
It's
it's
a
a
lot of
pickup
work.
line that you used an AI generator to get for you.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't want to do all that. It's a lot of work, man. And
We
I'd
have
rather
got to
walk into
figure
the
out
store.
how to get people back to humanity. That's the thing. I've thought about this for a long time. I thought, is there a way that we could make like a hashtag, something so big that took off that was 1 week, no socials? Like, could we get the world to shut down
Impossible.
every social media platform for 7 days just to see how much
Impossible.
how many
I wish
moments
it
you
was.
actually see the sun when you're not staring at, a social network. And now there's great things on social networks. Listen, I
Hey,
love Instagram.
hey, man, that's my job. I love TikTok. Hey, I love everybody. I love
I
Instagram,
think it's
YouTube.
cool. I
Love them
do.
all.
But there's a point at when I find myself sitting down to take a dump and I'm like, I'll just grab out my phone and look on Instagram. And then all of a sudden I'm done going to the bathroom, but I'm there for another half hour. And then I get up, my legs are falling asleep. I walk out of the bathroom and I go, what did I just do for a half hour besides waste my life? But then
Yep.
in the same turn, in that same 20-minute dump on the toilet, I might hear this guy called You Can Walk Outdoors go, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but people should treat you, say something amazing that
That's what
changes.
my dude. My TikTok. I scroll David Goggins, David Goggins, David Goggins. Oh, Matthew McConaughey, David Goggins. They're all just saying inspirational quotes. That's all my TikTok is.
What do we got to do to get Goggins to run for presidency?
No, he won't do it, but hey, he's got my vote if he does. I
What do
love
we
David
do,
Goggins.
man? Like, can we just go out and campaign blindly for him as like a
I
guy that just says, I'm willing to suffer till I get it right? Because I have never seen a better influence in my
I
life
love
than
that
that guy.
man. I love that man. There's nothing, dude. That man can make me do anything. If he wanted me to rob a bank, he could motivate me to rob a bank. That
I
guy
could
is
do 50,000 pull ups just looking at his face, man.
100%, 100%.
He gets me lit.
Who's gonna carry the
I
boats?
know it's
I
too
love it.
much.
I love
And
it.
then when he says, like, I don't know, you'll see him on like a Rogan podcast or somebody, but it's like a clip of him and he's like looking real serious. And he's like, you got to just suffer and learn to suffer. There's no other answer except
I watch it.
suffering. And you're like, okay, I'm going to suffer today.
I watch it when I'm working out and I pump out an extra 3 reps, man. It's crazy. I love that guy.
That's if we could spread that, man, imagine that. Like imagine just that. And I'm helping some of my buddies, my 40-year-old generation buddies, many of which you know, I won't talk about them on this podcast, but they're struggling with some sobriety and they're trying to get real clean in January, dry January, whatever. I'm 14 days completely sober myself. It's brutal and not fun, but what it does remind you of is all these other powers, that you have, like the power to overcome, your irritability and the power to overcome your want for things, your ability to put down the cheeseburger to give to the greater picture of you wanting to feel good tomorrow or whatever. Um, but yeah, we need to get I think like as this takes off, we have a couple things to do. We kind of jumped right past what this podcast really is. So this is our official. I'm going to say it's official. You speak up if you disagree, but I feel like this is going to be the official launch of the Cohen Bros, whatever it becomes. We're going to do this together. I've already promised some people online that we'll turn out at least one episode a week. So
100%. Easy.
whether it's a title, whether I don't know what we're talking about content wise, other than just jamming on all sorts of stuff. But I think as like a not a mid-season finale type thing, but like I feel like as the year goes on, I would like to pick like if we could do one special event a month, maybe, where we could potentially just you and I, no dad, no family, like go and we do 2 nights in a place somewhere. Now, that being said, I have like 15 conventions in this country that start in March. But for January and February, I was thinking a place that I really wanted to go, and it's kind of halfway between you and me, is Austin, Texas. Now, there's a couple
Heard
reasons.
great things about Austin, Texas. That's apparently like the new like place like popping up in the world right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fun stuff happening there, like with my buddies from the industry, and a bunch of them moved there, and obviously the comedy scene has moved there. And so I thought, like, what if we did like a Friday night, Saturday night, or a Thursday, Friday, where we fly in, we film everything, and we go through our experiences as double double decade different generations of
Going with
what the
that.
experience is like of Austin. And I think it's cool. I think we could put together like, like let's hit up some comedy shops, let's hit up some food, let's hit up some drinks, let's see what the local racetrack, Coda, I think they have a sick racetrack over in Texas
Anything,
somewhere.
man. Anything and everything. We go where the world takes us.
But I think people would enjoy that. And you know what? I think I don't have comments, I think, even on my YouTube page, but I think however we put this out, we should be promoting us this thing on TikTok, and then we could get feedback, right? Like, I'd love to see the Cohen boys at so and so, and let's just show up. Let's just show up and do it. And then whatever fans, whether it's one fan or 500 fans that show up, they get to be with it. They could be right with us. I got 2 mic handles. I just ordered 2 mic handles for my. They're not a sponsor, but boy, they should be because they're great. These Shure microphones are so
I
absolutely
got mine
lovely.
coming to the mail.
I just ordered 2 hand mics that hook onto these, so we could take these on the road wherever we go.
Like a like a like a
Like it comes off right here, like it unscrews just from this part, and then it's got
yeah,
like
yeah,
a.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's
So,
basically like an extension, but I got like these ones that are machined, so they're aluminum. They look really like, I don't know, they look cool.
you ever see these podcasts? They'll like take the mic and they'll just be like holding the mic like this, like
Yeah.
without the stand or with nothing. I don't like that. I don't like
No,
that.
that's why I'm like I wanted to get a handle because
Mess up the
there's
wire,
enough. I don't know
bro.
if you can see on here. There's enough. Like there's like two
Yeah,
inches
yeah, they come. Yeah. Like, has like the little, yeah,
but I need it to feel like an official handle because I was a host on Real TV, and when you hold a microphone in your hand, it feels very comfortable. It gives you something to do with your hand.
yeah. Makes you
If,
feel official.
if not, you're all Will Ferrell from Talladega Nights in the interview. You don't know what to do with your arms.
W movie.
Um. All right, so we got some direction. We've talked about a bunch of things.
What else? Hey man, football's happening right now.
I can't
Football,
talk about it. I'm
football's going crazy. Hey, I know you don't watch it, but man, football's going crazy right now.
I watched the highlights and we'll get into it a little bit. Like, so I'm what happened with the Dolphins and the Chiefs because like I'm a big Mahomes guy, but I can't be a Mahomes guy when Tyreek's on the field. Like I just that game really irritated me.
Yeah,
What's your breakdown?
it's hard, man. It's hard. We're from Miami, been Dolphins fan. At least me, we've been Dolphins fans our whole life. It's hard. It's always down, never
It's a
up.
brutal organization to support.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Very, very terribly ran. So they just it was very cold out there. It was like -6 degrees. So that's like the excuse everybody's making.
Yeah.
But they just didn't play. They went out there and they had one big play and that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. No other offense the rest of the game. The defense was terrible. It looked like nobody wanted to be out there. And then after the game, Tua, our quarterback, goes up to Patrick Mahomes and he says, "Hey man, good game. Can I have your jersey? Can I have your jersey, please?" And Patrick Mahomes goes, "No, I'll send you one in the mail."
Dang, that's cold. That's
I,
massively disrespectful, don't you think?
just a bit, yeah, it's a tad, yeah. But I don't know why Tua is asking for his jersey after
But
a
why
playoff
can't Mahomes be a big enough man to give the loser the damn jersey?
because that's his. He just won a playoff game. They keep those jerseys. They like to keep those. Like I mean,
He
I
better
wouldn't keep
give it to
my
his
jersey
wife and
either
he
after
better
that
give
game
it to his
played.
wife and babies because if another quarterback, I don't know, man. And was it a playoff game or was it a wild card game?
It was the play. It was like the wild card is like the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, so Dolphins are eliminated. There's no way to
Yeah,
save them.
we're done. We're done. Yeah, we're done. We're done. It's a
Patrick
good thing, though. It's a
Mahomes.
good thing. It's a good thing we're done. It's way better the Chiefs move on. They'll have a better game next week.
Patrick Mahomes. This is my open message to you. um, Listen, my kid, you're his number one. You're maybe the only name he knows in the NFL.
He is the only name he knows. That was the first thing. I went up to him, my nephew, and I said, "What's your favorite NFL team?" And he said, "Oh, I like the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
That's because that show Quarterback on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Great show. But we like Mahomes. He's a good guy. We like a lot of the NFL guys. But come on, Patrick. What are you trying to do, man? Is Tua's a little older than him, isn't he?
No, no, other way
He's
around.
younger?
Patrick's like probably 28. Tua's probably they're probably like the same age. I think Tua's like 26, 25, something like that. 23.
Man, I don't know if I could have said no to him in the moment. Like,
Yeah,
unless
he did.
we have to examine this. Like, unless Mahomes in his heart is going, I'm keeping every one of my playoff jerseys to give to my babies or my wife or my immediate family. I would have had a hard time saying no to another NFL quarterback that you just played, a massive game against. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I
Do
just
they
know
have do they have a previous beef at all between them? A
no, no.
rivalry at all?
Tua
Nothing.
doesn't have beef with anybody but Dolphins fans.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's ugly. And now, so he's like Tua's like done. Like that, he only has 1 year left on his contract. And so
Yeah.
now the big thing they're trying to decide is: are we keeping Tua or are we letting Tua go? And the management's talking about keeping him and trying to work out a long-term deal. But the
But you
fans
know
are
what
like,
happens, right? You know what happens. Every time we let a quarterback go because they had a mediocre season, they go
become
on.
fantastic. They become an MVP and they go and do something amazing somewhere else. And you know what? At this point, I hope he does go do that because he's just not doing anything for the Dolphins. He's not.
Or is it the Dolphin franchise not properly shaping around their leader in the quarterback
We
position?
can't win. We can't win. It's just not possible. It doesn't matter. We could have Tom Brady come out of retirement and come play and pick up a bunch of other MVPs and Hall of Fame players, and still we wouldn't win.
Oh man,
It's
bums me
tough.
out. But it's right. It's like the Dolphin curse.
That's exactly
Marino
what it is.
ruined us back in the day.
Have a perfect season, never win again.
So was Buffalo going to the championship?
Buffalo is playing next week against the Chiefs.
Chiefs are taking out Buffalo 100%.
I think it's gonna go the other way. It's in
You
Buffalo.
think it's going to go the other way, but I can tell you right now, betters beware. When Patrick Mahomes finishes a game and crushes the soul and the spirit of a quarterback, an NFL franchise man like Tua, and then looks him in the eyes and says, "No, sir, you cannot have my jersey." Well, an undefeated Buffalo Bills franchise, I don't care how cold it is in New York, they ain't going to take the guts from Patrick Mahomes. I'm back on Patrick Mahomes' team. I'm a Chiefs fan. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Bills, I'm sorry, y'all, but next week's going to be rough. Or they're not on a bye week, are they?
No, I'll put 20 on that with you.
Okay, just 20 on a straight win?
Yeah,
20 on a straight win.
I
There it
got the
is.
Bills.
It's the last 20 bucks I have, man. So
Hey, well, hopefully you get 40.
all right. Well, that's exciting. But what else? Okay, so if we get Buffalo, let's say Buffalo does beat the Chiefs and then Buffalo makes it in. What's the other side of that look like?
The other side of the AFC. So that's like the AFC. So you got the Bills versus the Chiefs next week, and then you also got what is the other game? What am I forgetting? Oh, Ravens Texans.
Ravens got the Texans all day, right?
Yeah, the Ravens are like the best team in football right now.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah, they're dirty. While I was in California, while I was in California with you guys, the Ravens were playing the Niners. That was like the huge game. Those were the two best teams. Ravens whooped them. So
I
Ravens
like to see Ravens Chiefs or Ravens Bills as a good, or can it not be Ravens Bills? It can't be
No,
Ravens
no, no,
Bills.
it can. So that's so we're
Oh,
still
okay, yes, it can.
we're
Okay.
very early in the playoffs. That's like the AFC, and then you got the complete other side, the NFC, where you got Packers versus the Niners and Lions versus the Bucks.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of football left to be played.
Patrick Mahomes is coming for blood as far as I'm concerned.
Always, he always is. He always is. But
That says it all, man. That says it all. It's not like it's his first playoff win. It's not like that jersey means that much. It's a wild card game, Like
yeah,
I would say if I was a therapist, which I'm not, but I need therapy. Yes, that's true. I would say from a trying to get in the mind of a young man, from a slightly older man who's battled his mind for 40 years, I say Patrick Mahomes is not to be toyed with right now.
no, it's like Tom Brady. He's like the new era Tom Brady. If you're betting on somebody, Patrick Mahomes is the guy to be betting on.
And like when Patrick Mahomes converts a 4th and 4, he never just converts a 4th and 4, bro. Like
Goes
he
way further.
converts a
Yeah.
fourth and some more. Like he's just I don't know, man. He's a special guy. He's a special guy.
He was
Obviously, you
running
know
all
this.
over the Dolphins. He was running right through us, but they like the Dolphins weren't even trying. They were like staring at him, just watching him run by, and they didn't even care.
Well,
So
all they wanted was that jersey the whole time. That's
that was
why
it.
it
That was
was
all they wanted the whole game. That was the only goal. We need Patrick Mahomes' jersey, and they couldn't even get that.
Tua the whole time. Instead of thinking about touchdowns, was thinking about how much you can get on eBay for an autographed Patrick Mahomes jersey. Man, you should at least ask him for his left-footed cleat. That would have been brought you
Something,
some
bro. Give
money.
him a sock. Give him
Listen,
something.
listen, I would take a sock. I'd take a Mahomes sock.
Patrick Mahomes sock, bro. You know how much that thing would go for on eBay?
And if
Ooh,
it smells, it goes extra.
ooh, with stains.
Bloody toenail stain on there, bro.
Over,
You're
man.
looking at a
Over.
couple G's.
Probably more.
Um, we should definitely go see some comedy together if we make it over to Austin or wherever Andrew Scholes is going to be. You know, what's cool about
Oh,
Austin is there's so many of those big comedians, Chappelle, everybody's coming in and out. So it's likely we'll be able to see whoever we want. Everybody that used to come into the Ice House Pasadena here in LA and the Comedy Store on Sunset, which the both places are still open and busy, but
yeah,
they lost half of their main A-list comedic clientele because they all moved to Austin. So now they're all at
isn't that
Rogan's
that's where Joe
the
Rogan's doing his thing as well,
the
right?
mothership, bro. And it's
Yeah.
made, like that place has got a lot of comedy history in it. It's got a bar in it called Mitzi's. It's named after Mitzi
That's where Mitzi.
Shore.
You know what? I've heard that. Why have I heard of that?
So
Mitzi.
Pauly Shore is I don't know if you know who he is, your
No,
generation. He
I
might be.
don't. I have no
Oh,
idea.
Pauly Shore is a legendary actor comedian from kind of my age generation. He's actually a little older than me. I think he's like mid 40s or 50. One of the funniest guys. He played a character called the Weasel, and he did all these weird little things. You won't get it. I just probably freaked you out. You probably
Wait,
think I'm
I'm
some kind of
googling. Wait, I'm googling Pauly Shore. Wait, I want to
Pauly
see.
Shore. So Pauly Shore's mom, Mitzi Shore, bought in her divorce, I believe was in the divorce. She bought the Comedy Store. She loved comedy. So every comedian working now that's kind of around like the Rogan or the Bill Burrs or the Tom Segura age, like I guess not Tom Segura, he's a little younger. Yeah, Pauly Shore, the Weasel.
I have no idea who that is,
He's the
but Pauly
man.
Shore,
Trust
the
me.
Weasel.
He's the legend. You watch you got to just watch some of his movies. He's literally the best. He did it his own way. Anyways, Mitzi passed away, but before she passed away, she really made what are called regulars at the Comedy Store out of some of the best and most well-known comedians today. So you can't be a regular, which means you get to work every week at the Comedy Store, whether it's for $100 or $1,000. You can't be a paid regular until Mitzi, the owner of the club, says, "Yeah, I'll have him up there." And then finally, she would pass these people, and Rogan got passed by her, and a lot of other like very well-known comedians. But Rogan opened this club called the Mothership in Austin. In it is an awesome bar called Mitzi's in
Oh, that's
honor of the comedic icon who brought to light so many of our favorite comedic names today. And I'd love to go there and take a shot with you and make some funny decisions.
hell yeah,
They
hell
got
yeah.
2 rooms at that place too. So it's like, you're going to get a ticket to something. And my buddy's got a big brewery down in, I think it's called Dripping Springs, Texas, or Raining Springs, or Watery Spring. I don't know. He's got some kind of brewery down there. We could go hang out, live music. My other buddy Jared he's got restaurants and all sorts of stuff. So Austin would be a great
Sounds
trip.
like yeah, it sounds like Austin's move.
And I feel like if we did it on like wouldn't even have to be a weekend. It could even be like a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Thursday,
Okay.
Friday. We could really get in and we could make it where it's the Cohen brothers and it's some version of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations, meets like Mike Rose, Dirty Jobs, comes together with a strangely connected
And odd,
brotherhood 20
yeah,
years apart. I think we could do something fun. I do.
sounds like fun to me.
Well,
Austin
there's
sounds
the
pretty.
pitch. I hope somebody's listening.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully.
Tyler and Matt will probably be coming to a town near you at some point. I
We'll
hope
even
you
take
come hang out
requests.
with us. We want to be the life of your party. We want to know the culture of your town. We want to come to
Oh
your
yeah,
house and we want your mom or dad that have lived in that city their whole life to make us the meal that their parents
soup.
made for them as a kid. How about that?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. We'll eat that up. I'll eat that up. That's me. All day.
Listen, we're on it. Our journey is to bring humanity back to all the people of the world from the 20s to the 40s to the 60s to the 80s and the new babies coming in. We're going to show you how to link up and show you that life experiences together, no matter the differences in your mind, um, are worth taking the time to enjoy. So
Yeah.
This is MC on the mic. We're out of here. Tico's on the other half of this thing. We're going to come up with a clever new sign, a clever new name. Maybe we
Gotta come up
morph
with a
them,
name.
whatever
Yeah,
it
we gotta
is.
have a name.
But here's our promise, right? One more handshake before we leave. Our oath to the audience is that we'll turn out one episode for at least 48 weeks of this year.
Yeah, that's a lot of 48 weeks. But yes, we're gonna be turning
48 episodes of Matt and Tyler somehow, some way, with let's say 8 to 10 special episodes where we travel.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. Cheers. Shake it up. Oh, we got a thumbs up.
Did you just do that?
So on your phone, wait, come on. Thumbs up, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Fireworks. So I'm using my iPhone 15, I guess, as the camera for my Zoom right now. And there's a AI recognition. Like if you're like, wow. Sometimes it like does something. I don't know. Do some more thumbs up. Celebrate.
Wow.
Ah. That's the perfect way to end the podcast. You doing that and nothing happening. All right, folks. I'm Matt. That's Tyler. We're out of here. We're going to be back soon. Peace, folks.
Peace. Deuces.